plans for Nigel. This boy is electric.
Good boy. Welcome back everyone, part 2 of our solar project, installing solar and battery at my daughter's house over in Peterborough, Cambridgeshire. I gave you the introduction, what the project was and why I was doing it. It just makes sense, it's going to save them money, so it's a wonderful gift to be able to give to family. If you can help them get solar, batteries, heat pumps, any of that sort of stuff. Alright, they're done. It's a good boy. But the question I left you with from part 1 is, who are we going to use to install our solar and battery? So let's talk about, before I give you the actual name, let's talk about what the requirements are. When I look at putting solar in for my daughter, it's got to be no nonsense. It's got to work. It's got to have no hassles. We've got to have a company that's going to be around for a long period of time, so that if there are any support and warranty issues, they're going to solve them. So it's got to be a company that I can trust. I know will come back if there are issues. I know has good customer service, so we'll look after the customer. Because it's, for me, I can deal with hassles, I can deal with troubles, but when you're doing it on behalf of someone else, you've got to do your best to make sure it's trouble-free and easy, so therefore you want to use the best installer. So one of my issues is that it's in Peterborough, Cambridgeshire, so I'm not as familiar with the local installers there. Then you've got the same issue that if you use a smaller company, a company that's not been going that long, or it's an electrician that's now doing solar installs, then you don't know what's going to happen to them. You know, how's the market going to go? Are they going to be around? The small companies have more risk, so I immediately knew I needed to use a bigger company with backup, with customer service. But also, when you get a bigger company, you get more experience. The typical installer doesn't just sling panels on the roof. He's more the electrician that wires the inverters and stuff. They're not necessarily software orientated and systems and data savvy. So the understanding of your requirements and the understanding of the apps and how to configure them and all those options is pretty much an afterthought. That's been my experience with a lot of installers. Now, I'm not going to do too much discredit to all installers, because they're not all like that. Some are obviously very savvy, very switched on, and understand the benefit of the technology. But for me, the technology, the data, the apps, and the tariffs and the integration, all of those things, those are absolutely key things. You know, how to plug it into the AC side or how to connect a DC cable. Those things aren't as important to me. So a company that understands and has experience is really important. Then obviously you need to look at what they provide. Are they providing good systems, good equipment? Are they consistent with what they do? Do I know them? Do I know their reputation? Have I had experience of them? Can I see mistakes that they've made and how they've resolved them? And do I have first-hand references from them as to how good they've been for other people that I might know? So it's all of those things. You can't beat dealing with someone that you know, that you're familiar with, that you're confident with. So that's why I chose Heatable. Yep, Heatable UK Limited. I've known Heatable since, well, since I started with solar, really. They contacted me to try and do a collaboration many years ago when I was first starting out, and the timing just wasn't quite right. So I had discussions with them, I understood what they were doing and how they were different as well. I liked that they came to the market and were offering fixed price solutions and were helping solve the issue of who was going to install the solar systems, and you know, the company back up to that. It was just something good about them, something different. And their communication was excellent as well. So I've been confident and comfortable with Heatable for quite a while, and I've seen the videos that there's online, which are excellent. I would recommend going over to YouTube and having a look at Heatable's videos that they do on the installs. They're quite entertaining. There are problems that they discuss there that they deal with on camera. So they don't hide from things, and I like that. There's the honesty to them. So I think that YouTube channel that they do presents them in a really good light. What about reviews then? So, you know, I know personally people that have had Heatable install their system and it's all been really good. The people are good. So they obviously recruit well, they're well managed. And those things are important. You don't want an installer to go around that you think, oh God, I really wouldn't want them in and around my house. So having good people is a priority. I looked on the company house website and it shows Heatable as having 44 employees in their last report on accounts, gone up 12 employees from the previous year, so they're growing. The number of staff is a reasonable sized company. Their profitability looks okay. They have assets to the names, they're not in debt. Financially wise, it looks good, and what I'm hoping to have in the edit for this video I'll put up here is how many solar and battery installs have they done in the last year? How many do they do a year? How many have they done in total? What is their experience level like? So I'll try and put the data up there if Heatable can provide it for me. Looking online, yep, they get good reviews, they've got good online presence, and the people that are having systems installed are leaving them good reviews. Finding an installer that's MCS qualified is quite important as well. It shouldn't be, because it should be optional, and it is optional. You can have a non-MCS system installed, and you know, Octopus now are accepting export tariffs and export from your system for systems that aren't MCS certified. But MCS being a way of having a badge of honour to say, you know, we've done the training, we meet the standards for installs, and we provide an MCS certificate at the end of the install to give confidence that it's been done professionally and been done well. Those certificates from MCS, they do go well when you're trying to sell your house, they do go well for insurance purposes, so it's just a handy thing to have. So again, where I'm not too fussed whether I have an MCS certificate for all of my system, you know, I'll work that out at the time if I need to. For my daughter, it's just much better to have it all done pucker, all be done properly. But with MCS, as I said, they've got to sign up to a standard, they've got to be trained and reviewed to make sure they meet those standards before they can have the badge, the MCS badge, to say that they're qualified for it. The same goes for Which. Now, I don't see that very often. Which seems to be a higher standard, which is harder to achieve, and you have to do more work to attain it. And I don't find as many companies using Which as a recommendation for themselves. And I guess that's because of how easy or hard some of these things are to get. You know, you hear the sort of stories, don't you, that, you know, checker trade is easy to get. It's just a tick box. There's not a lot of tangible quality proof that has to go behind it to get that badge, where I think Which is very different. The standards and the effort you have to go to, the training, etc., is harder. So it's nice to see that Heatable have that qualification as well, and they're going to the effort of wanting to be seen as one of the best with all the right qualifications and all the right recommendations. So there you go, that's why I've gone with Heatable. I know them, I trust them, they look honest, there's an online presence with the videos, the recommendations, the size of the company, the number of staff that they have, and their profitability. That, you know, it doesn't look in any shape or form that there's any risk of them disappearing in the near future. So yeah, Heatable for me were the obvious choice. So I think do site survey next to this next video to see what goes on. Then we'll get into the design of the system and the individual components that we're going to use. And then hopefully we're then getting into the realms of install. Unless, of course, there are any problems. And if there are, I'll be sharing them with you. So this is also the time to explain to you the relationship between Heatable and myself. Yes, Heatable UK Limited are sponsoring these videos, this series of videos that I'm doing. It is being done as a collaboration, and I wanted that, not for the financial reward of doing that. I wanted that because I wanted a very close discussion with them about what we were doing. I wanted to be able to influence what was happening and to understand in the background what Heatable are all about and what the process is like. So a collaboration is the right way to go, but that is not going to stop me telling you exactly what happens and the absolute truth. So don't think this is just a promotional video for Heatable. It is not, and this series of videos is not. We have agreement that I will present exactly as we see, completely honestly, completely openly, warts and all. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video so far, and hope you're looking forward to, as much as me, seeing this system get installed and progress to the point where we're making savings. Thanks again for watching. Take care. See you again soon for more videos. Bye for now.